Well, good morning. It's the 4th of April. It is raining outside, which is a good thing for us because we run a hydro electric power station, so we need the water. It's actually running really high. Well, not really high. It's running pretty high right now. We're pretty close to maximum capacity, as close as the machines allow them to go. We're putting out 732 kilowatts right now. Pond level's a little bit high yet, 1699.82. We've got probably 3/4 of an inch or so going over the top of the flashboards. We have one section of flashboard that's missing a top, so it's 6 inches lower. So that's kind of funneling extra water out, which is okay because we don't have the capacity to run it anyways. So we'll let it go down, flush it out. I see the board. It's right at the swimming hole. So as soon as the flow reduces down and I can safely get out there, then I'll go out there and get it. We'll put it back in. The goal this year was not to lose any flashboard, and if we lose one top board, that's fine. Yesterday was kind of a strange day. Went and opened up that camp for that lady. She had an older pellet stove, so we got that lit. And that one's one you put the gel in, and it doesn't have a self-igniter, blah blah blah. So she was like, "What do I do with this?" And I said, "Well, you're gonna have to." What I would do is I would upgrade my pellet stove, or I would, and she's older, so she's in her 70s. In their 50-pound bags, I said I just go ahead and replace it with a propane. The propane is not any cheaper or any more expensive than the pellets are. So use the propane and get one that is that runs without power or will run without power, just for the backup. So that's what I told her. We'll see what she does. Turn the water on there, absolutely no problem. Everything else ran really great. We checked out one of the other houses that we have, and that's right down the street from there that we do. Usually at the end of March we're done with those, but they weren't going to be there, so we're continuing for another month. No problems there. Everything looked all right. Everything looked great. Went up to Seville, did a little work on the hanging water heater. Got that started to be prepped. We've got to do a little bit more reinforcing to where it goes. I'm gonna have to do something for the pipe, for the exhaust pipe. It is an easy tankless water heater. It is almost it's 5 7/8 hole. So that it requires. So we're gonna have to figure out something there. That's gonna have to be cut out. I don't have a hole saw that's 4 7/8. My hole saw is 4 1/4. That's the size of a plumbing pipe. So 3/8, 4 3/8. Probably could make it work, but I don't want to force it through. I want to make it look nice. So may take a little creative. I don't know. Anyway, so we got that. He said he had a leak on the pump. So we checked that. Couldn't find one. We resealed everything and then couldn't find him. He said he resealed everything already, but one of the things that I always do that I didn't there, when I use a galvanized fitting, it always gets taped, and I put dope on it. That That way you're sure that it's not gonna leak. And I didn't do that there, so that's exactly because these are manufactured, and the tapers are always a little bit. They might be off depending on how dull the tool was when it was making the taper. And again, it was a cheaper Chinese pump, which are fine. They work just great. Even the good standby Gould's pump are now manufactured in China. So, or as our President Trump would say, China. So anyway, so yeah, they, it is just it's a manufactured piece, and they will have flaws, and they will not seal good, and you have to take the time to do it right. That would have been my fault. I do have a little tape here. It's a junk tape, but I also used the Blue Monster tape. It's a wider tape. It's heavier. You usually do 2-3 wraps on that. It's sealed. It is good stuff. I use a lot of Blue Monster tapes and putties and compounds and even the glue. It's good. Whatever they have is always, to me, has always been successful. I can't say that other people have the same success with it, but it works for me. So yeah, we got all that together. We put the kit on there's a valve kit that goes underneath instantaneous water heater. In that kit comes the pressure relief valve and some control valves with ports on it. The ports on the front of it are so that with all instantaneous water heaters, the capillary tubes going around the heat exchanger are small. Impure water, impurity, it's like you're getting calcium and some other mineral buildup. You can clean them out. Basically, if you use the yearly flush, the magical yearly flush is vinegar, white distilled vinegar. You dump a gallon of white distilled, maybe a gallon and a half of white distilled vinegar in a bucket with a inexpensive sump pump. You run a hose up to a washing machine hose, because it's got to have the two female fittings to that. Another hose coming out back into the bucket. You shut your 2 ports off, open up those valves, run the thing for 45 minutes. Just let it sit there and flush out. That unit will run like a brand new unit every single time. So if you start getting some strange things, you have an instantaneous water heater, you start getting strange things, figure out how you can flush that thing out, and it'll work just great. It'll rejuvenate the thing like it's brand new. So there's a free tip for the day. Buddy of mine dropped off a transfer switch that he needs to have to knock out, so I had to get the tool and put it in the car to take home today and knock them out. I got a knockout tool that will make a knockout for accepting conduit pipe. So I can go up to 2-inch. That is the best tool I've ever invested in. I used to use the hole saws to drill them out. Nah. If it's over 2-inch, then you have to use a hole saw, or you can buy the tool, but it'll scare you. But it's just a little impact driven thing. So it's got an impact with it, and clamps it together. It just cuts the steel, and you've got a perfect hole every time. And you don't have to guess. You don't have to worry. with a hole saw, you're drilling it out. It's wobbling around because you know that your center is going to wallows itself out, and you start wobbling with your blade. It's just going to be a mess. So, and then you always wonder, is that really going to seal up? Is it going to look all right? So this works perfect. It just makes a clean hole, nice and neat, just like it came out of the factory with a stamper. So we're going to do that today. That takes about, I'll probably spend 10, 15 minutes on it. That's about it. He said, I'll pay you. No, you won't. No, it's my buddy, and I'm not going to do that. I'll end up having to go back there to the job site where he's at and probably do the hookup and do the initial startup on the unit, just because that's what I do. So, and he won't, and I can just go do it for him, and I can bill the customer. It's a mutual customer. He's building a new house. He's got a camp that I do open and close. I do want to address some of the things that are there with it, just because we should. Anyways, so that brings thought to my mind that when I do that, when I talk to Vogel Construction about that job, I'm gonna, because I know they drilled a well. The other house runs off of the lake line, so I'm gonna suggest that we just trench over to the little house with a line that we can go into a basement or a crawl space, turn off, blow it out. But we'll see what happens. I know it goes into a basement, so I think it's just we can eliminate the pump down at the lake and save everybody some headache. Anyhow, so there's that. So I can talk to them about that. That just dawned on me. That's a novel idea to do at this point in time, especially since they're already there digging. So other than that, today was going to go to Sabile and do some vacuuming up there with take my refrigerant vacuum up and test some lines. But the fittings that I needed aren't here yet. So they're supposed to be arriving today. We'll see. I guess it's going to happen tomorrow. Also tomorrow I expect to see the chicks. I got a message yesterday that from Meyer Hatchery that they had shipped my chickens. So I'm getting golden laced Wyandottes this year. They're a little bit different than the chickens that I've had before, but they're still a hardy bird, still a winter bird. They lay about 4 eggs a week instead of an egg a day. Which I don't mind. So with the 20 that I got, 4 eggs a week each, should be 80 eggs a week, so it should be about 7 dozen. Dozen a day would be just fantastic. So I don't need extra lots. So the 12 that I've got, well, actually there's 10 hens and two roosters in there. One of those roosters will go with this flock, so just to protect it. But so the other ones are just old hens, and they're old hens. Some days I get 2 eggs, some days I get 1. They're past the prime. I don't have the heart to kill them. So, although the predator doesn't mind eating them. So, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to take the eggs out of these hens. Get 4 or 5 of them, and I'm going to incubate them. And then if I get a 50-50 mix, and then so I get 3 hens and 2 roosters. We'll put the roosters with the meat chickens, and then they will become meat chickens. And then we just keep introducing fresh layers to the flock, and I think that's a great idea. And so we can get 5, 10, through the summer, get 5 or 10 more. So be it. We can be self-sustaining that way. And that's the idea. When I bought the incubator, that was the idea that I would do self-sustaining for my chickens and my meat birds. Meat birds would just be roosters. They may take a little bit longer to grow, but if I can sustain it here, then I do great. The only thing I have to do is I have to buy my feed, and of course I use the Poulin feeds out of Vermont. I get it from my local supplier, the Sagadaga Dog Food Company, down in Northville. It's a feed store, and they are a fantastic place to work with. They are right on top of it. They make sure that the feed is going out is a quality feed. Feed's gone up drastically in the last year. So we're trying to watch our costs, but you really, what are you going to do? It is what you've got to do. So you raise your egg prices a little bit. 50-pound bag, right now with a dozen chickens, 50-pound bags is lasting me well over a month. Because the chicken eats a quarter pound of feed a day each. So when they're mature, when they're little, very little, they don't eat much. If they're on pasture, they eat even less, because they'll eat bugs and grass and whatever they get, worms and whatever. So they'll eat even less. So that's why the older chickens go out on pasture. The young ones will. I will put them out on pasture, but it will be a more of a controlled pasture. Just because we don't want anything to happen to them. Anyways, so so there we go. So we're going to be looking, at 20 hens, you're looking at 5 pounds a day, so 10-pound bag of feed lasts you, 10 days. 10 days, you're going to have to get, right. So you're going to 5 pounds a day, so you're going to get 10 days out of a bag, so you're going to go through 3 bags a month. At $18.50 a bag, $19 a bag, figure $20 a bag, $60 a month for chicken feed. If you can sell 12 dozen eggs, you pay for your feed. And that's the way I look at it. I need to sell 12 dozen eggs. I can. That's easy. Getting 7 dozen eggs a week. Ew, now you're talking. You're gonna have to sell 3 dozen eggs a week, which is easy. So you're getting your $60. So 3 dozen eggs a week at $5 a dozen. You broke even. You didn't pay for your chickens, but so now you increase it to sell 4 dozen eggs a week. You use 3 dozen yourself. We probably use a dozen and a half. But I can sell 4 dozen a week. And put it back into feed. And you make a little bit of money. You're not going to get rich raising chickens. I can tell you that. I'll guarantee you that. Unless you're doing big time, you're doing 1,000 chickens, 1,000 birds at a crack, maybe 3,000 birds at a crack. You're buying your grains. You've got a storage bin. You can do that. You can save a lot of. You can cut a lot of the costs out. As you get bigger. But I'm not that big. So 1,000 golden lace, why not? Wow. 4,000 eggs a week? That's a lot of eggs. But if you're selling to a commercial supplier, you need that many. And I know a lot of people that do. I know some people that have a farm down in Wyckoff, New Jersey. They have a farm store there, and they're raising the downsize to 2,000 chickens a week, or 2,000 chickens layers. They were running in excess of 4,000 for a while, but that was before everybody said that eggs were bad for you. But once they got back off that kick, production demand has increased again. So eggs are not bad for you. Eggs are really good for you. People don't know what they're talking about when they say, "Well, you got to cut back on eggs because they're cholesterol." No, they're not. Fresh egg is the best thing that you can eat. That's what we ate when the dinosaurs were here. They were looking for eggs. Trust me. It's a very high protein meal. So yes, and if you fry it, you're eating it with bacon. It's probably not good for you, especially if you're eating it with a pound of bacon a day. It probably is not good for you. But it's not the eggs; it's the pound of bacon, the grease from the bacon, and the 4 pieces of toast that you're eating with it. That's where the problem is. But anyhow, we're back at it. We're gonna get to chickens probably tomorrow. I'm assuming. I did have grand jury on Thursday, but that's been canceled. New York grand jury. Imagine that, me. I wish I'd had that other trial that was going on in New York City. That's making a mockery of New York. So, because my vote would have been X. Are you out of your mind? But hey, I've done that in the jury inquiries when we convened. I've come out and said, did you bother even reading him his rights? And then he would say, well, it was just an informal meeting. No. Anytime you talk to somebody, you need to tell them their rights. And so that I voted not to convict. So, or not to indict. Because it's totally different. Anyways, we're not going to go there, not going to go down that road this morning. And we're just going to shut her down. And I'll get really, really frustrated really quick. Anyways, so, hey, and, excuse me. I did check the weather forecast. You people that are in Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana, take heed for tomorrow because it looks like you're going to get slammed. So be prepared. Again, take care of yourselves, those around you. I'll talk to you later. And if you guys have a great day.